Okay, it says find the exact value of the following. Now we've done some of, actually no, we haven't done these. So the tan of 330. So the way I want you to do these, girls, is a quick sketch of where 330 is. So where is 330, girls? 90, 180, 270, 330, there it is. But which angle am I interested in? Not that. I'm interested in this 30 degrees there. You know, I'm interested in the related acute angle, the acute angle that sits in that quadrant. So 330 is in quadrant 4. So we've got, as we know, before we start, all stations to central. Okay, we're in quadrant 4, only cos is positive. So instead of writing it as tan 330, I want you to write it as tan of the acute angle touching the x-axis in that quadrant, which is tan 30. But you decide, do you put a positive or a negative in front of it? Negative, because tan is negative in quadrant 4. And do you remember your things? So please don't go negative tan 30 and square it, because you will, when you square a negative, you get a positive. So your answer is negative, whatever tan 30 is. Now, the way I like to remember them is, if you can remember, tan 45 is the nice one, it's 1. Tan 30 and tan 60 have the 3's in them. One of them's 1 on root 3, and the other one's root 3. Do you think 1 on root 3, 1 divided by root 3, or root 3 is bigger?
Root 3.
Yeah, root 3 is bigger. Good. So 1 on root 3 is smaller. So 1 on root 3 is the tan 31. Now, if you can't remember what tan 30 is, so you write your negative down, then you write, then on your calculator you go tan 30, you get something not nice looking. You get a decimal in a one that's not terminating. So you square it and you get a third. So, but you don't put the negative in. Do you understand why you don't put the negative in? Because when you square it, you're going to lose the negative. So you write negative. If you can't remember what tan 30 is, you put tan 30 in your calculator, you square it, you get a third, and you say, that's right. Square root that back in my head. It's 1 on root 3. Okay, the next one, sine of negative 240. So which way am I going? Yes, so I go negative 90, negative 180, negative 240. What is this angle? Yes, that's negative 240, but I'm not interested in that. I want, and do you remember, we just need 2 things. All stations to central and butterfly. Right? So we're in that quadrant. I need this angle here. What's this angle? It's 60. It's not, no, it's 180 and 60. Good. So I say that the sine of negative 240 is the same as sine of 60. Now, all stations to central. All right, the negative 240 just got me there. I still just am worried about this small acute angle here at 60. So it's going to be the same as sine 60, but we're in quadrant 2. All stations. Is sine positive or negative? Positive. So we're thinking sine of negative 240 is the same as sine 60. Now, all right, I want you to go to your calculator and do sine of negative 240 and see what you get. Girls, sine 60, if you can remember, it's root 3 on 2. If you can't remember what sine 60 is, you go sine 60, you get 0.86666, whatever it is, then you square it and you get 3/4, so you know it's root 3 on 2. If you do the sine of negative 240, right, you'll get an answer. And if you square it, you'll get 3/4 as well. You getting that? So it is the root 3 on 2. So this sits you in quadrant 2, so it's positive, and the acute angle is 60. So sine of negative 240, it's just going, instead of going clockwise, it's going anti-clockwise. Sorry, instead of going anti-clockwise, you're going clockwise. 240. So it's the same as sine 60. Are we okay with that? We'll do some more negative ones, don't worry. When I get to the bottom, I'm going to do a whole heap of negative ones. All right, so the negative is just telling you which way around the circle to go. You're still only interested in positive sine 60 or negative sine 60, depending on the quadrant you fall in. Okay? Cos of 480. I'm going around the circle more than once. So watch, I go 90, 180, 270, 360. I just keep going round. Then I start back at 0. So that's really what I want to do, is subtract. So I go, look, 90, 180, 270, 360, 450. I don't like to keep adding from 360. It's a bit hard, right? So I just say, well, that's really the same as cos of 480 minus 360. Because I get back to 0 and I start again. So really, I just need to work out cos of 120. So, because watch, look, 90, 180, 270, 360, 450, and another 30. But it's easier to say, look, I'm going past 360, which takes me back to 0, and I start again. So it's just like working out cos 120. So 120 is over here. There's 120. I'm not interested in the 120. What am I interested in? The 60. All right, which quadrant? So it's the same as cos 60, but is it positive or negative cos 60? What quadrant? All stations. It's negative. Cos is positive in, cos is negative in quadrant 2. And what's the cos of 60? No. Sine 60 is root 3 on 2. Cos 60 is the same as sine 30. If you just remember 1, I'd remember sine 30 is a half. Sine 30 and cos 60 are the same because they're complementary angles. Negative for the negative. Cos 60, girls, if you do it on your calc, you get 0.5. You don't have to square it because it's nice. Got it? Girls, guess what? On your formula sheet, you have the triangle. You have this one. You have this. You have that. You have that, and you have the 45-degree one as well. So you actually have this on your formula sheet. So cos of 60, I think I did it the wrong way around. No. Cos of 6, what have I done? It's adjacent on hypotenuse. Cos of 60 is a half. Okay, the other one, sine of 60, root 3 on 2. This is actually on your formula sheet, so don't panic. Okay, tan of 690. All right, is that beyond 360? What's 2 full revolutions? 360 and another 360 is 720. So this is almost 2 around, but short how many degrees? All right, yeah. So why don't you just subtract your 360 to get tan of 330. So what I already had that one before. Sorry, already did that one. Tan of 330 is what? So there's 330 over here. Yeah, if that's tan of 330, we're short 30 degrees, or that's the related acute angle, and tan is negative in quadrant 4, and tan of 30 up here is 1 on root 3, but you've got to keep the negative. Now, you know what you could do to check your answer? You could do tan of 690. You get a negative answer, so you know it's negative. You square it, but then you've got to square root it back, but you've got to keep the negative there. Of 150. So what quadrant? How do you get to 150? There's 150. I'm not interested in the 150. I'm interested in the 30. So it's the same as cosec of 30. But you look at it and you say, wait a sec, isn't that the reciprocal of the sine? So it's 1 over sine 30. So you just get your sine result, sine 30 result, and you find the reciprocal of it. What's the definition for cosec? It's 1 on sine. Are we okay with this? So girls, I've got cosec 150. I write it as the related, sorry, and I haven't explained if it's positive or negative. You tell me if it's positive or negative. Because it's the reciprocal of sine, it's all stations to central, but sine is positive here, so is cosec. Because cosec is just 1 over sine. So it's whatever sine is. It's still positive. So it's 1 on sine 30. What's sine 30? Didn't I say that's the nice easy one? Remember it? So it's 1 divided by a half, or it's the reciprocal of a half, which is 2 on 1, which is 2. I like to write it as 2 on 1 because you can see it's half that's been flipped. All right. The next one, cot of negative 240. Don't worry about the negative. It just tells you where to go. Which way? Negative 90, negative 180, and how much more? What? It's just telling you which way to go around. You still just need to know the angle here. Which one is it? If that's -90, -180, this is 60. So it's the same as cot of 60, but is it going to be positive or negative? Cot, look at cot's third letter. It's whatever tan's going to be. It's negative. Because tan's negative there. And cot is 1 on tan. So this is negative 1 over tan 60. And what's tan 60? See, this one I would just go negative 1 over, what's tan 60, anyone? Here it is, tan 60. Tan 60, root 3 on 1. So it's just root 3. So it's negative 1 on root 3. Because it's negative 1 over tan 60 is root 3. You can think tan 60 is root 3 and you flip it and you get 1 on root 3. All right? Do you want to try, see how you go with the next one? Be careful. Now, you know you can check, you could check your answer here by doing 1 divided by tan of negative 240. No, tan of negative 240. All right, sec of 600. There's a few things you want to do first. You'd want to be getting rid of. You want it to be less than 360 for a start. So what are you going to do first? Yeah, you're going to keep it a sec, and you want to make it, you want to subtract your 360, and what do you get? Is it 240? Yeah. All right, so it's like sec of 240. Now we can start. Don't like going around more than once. And by the way, you can go beyond 720 too. We'll do one of those in a minute. So it's the same as doing sec of 240. So how are we going to get there? The normal way. 90. Oh, I keep getting the same. There's your 240. All right, you've got to tell me. Is it positive or negative something? All right, what's this angle in here? All right, so it's sec 60, positive or negative? Negative. So it's like, and then you underline the third letter. And you know it's cos 60 flipped. Well, negative cos of 60. So where's cos 60 up here? Cos 1 on 2. So it's negative 2 on 1, which is just negative 2. All right, try the next one. 50 is the same as positive or negative tan 30. All stations 2. What's positive? Which is 1 on root 3. Good. Keep going. 755. If you subtract 360, your answer's still bigger than 360. So you've got to subtract 360 twice. Well, just think, 36, 72. You can subtract 720 straight away. Look, 360, 720. Oh, I've made a mistake. Can you make that 765, please? 765. Sorry, it's not going to work otherwise. So that's the same as tan of 765. I'd be subtracting 720 because that's twice around the circle. And that's the same as tan of 45. Oh, it's acute. And, all right, because it's clearly bigger than 720 because we go 360 and another 360. See, 360. 720, and we keep going another 45. All good? All stations to central, it's positive. What is it? What's tan of 45? Great. And the last one, be careful. Make it less than 360 first. So are you going to subtract 360 or do you think you'll add it to it? Yeah. So you've got to go cos of negative 495 plus 360 because I'm going this way, but I'd add 360. And what's that give you? Negative 135? Now that's something that you can look at. So you add, you don't subtract 360 from that because you're going to end up even more negative. You add 360. So it's the same as cos of negative 135. So which quadrant do we end up in? We go this way. No. Yeah, you're going this way. Negative. What's the related acute angle? Yes. And all stations 2, cos is not positive there, it's negative. So you put the negative out the front, girls. You don't put the negative inside the bracket like this. This is different. This is telling you go clockwise. Cos of negative 135 tells you to go clockwise. And then you draw where you are. That just tells you which way to go around the circle, that negative. Right, then you draw it, and then you see that your related acute angle is 45. And then you say all stations 2, cos is negative, and you put the negative out the front. And what's cos of 45? 1 on root 2. 1 on root 2. So the other right angle triangle, sorry, the other triangle that will appear on your formula sheet is this. The isosceles one, where you've got a right angle triangle. It's isosceles. You've got 45, 45. They may even just have marks on it without the angle sizes in the corners. And cos of 45 is 1 on root 2, and tan of 45 was 1 on 1, which is 1. It's up the top. There's your other one. Okay. All right. I'll bring it back in a minute. In these exercises is to find values for sine 0, sine 90, sine 180, etc. Remember the sine curve starts there, finishes at 360, 180. Do you know what those other values are? What's the amplitude? Girls, the sine curve. Y equals sine x. 1 and negative 1. Do you remember those? Do you remember? All right, so what's sine of 0? Come on. Yeah, sine of 90. Sine of 180. What's sine of 270? All right. And there's also 180 and 360, all right? Now, cos. Where does cos start from? Up the top. Goes from 1 to negative 1. Half full way is 360 for one period. Okay. What if I ask you cos of 0? What about the cos of 180? What about the cos of 90? Good. And cos of 270, 0. Cos of 360, all good. And the tan one. Oh. All right. If you don't know where the asymptote is, you get your calculator out and you try tan 0 and you try tan 90. What's tan 0? And what's tan 90? And tan is positive in quadrant 1. It goes like that. And then where's what? So that's 90. What's tan of 180? Tan of 270. Tan of 360. All right, and it goes. And if you weren't sure, you'd try something like tan of 120. If you get a negative answer, you know it's down there. And you know all stations 2 is positive, central is negative again. So that's your tan curve. Period of 180. What's the tan of 90? Good. And you know what the tan of 180 is, 0, etc. Okay. Related acute angle of negative 215. I haven't said sine, cos, or tan. You just draw where negative 215 is. You actually know how to do this. Which way do I go? That way or this way? Clockwise? Anti-clock. 90, 180. It's in here somewhere. All right. Which one's the related acute angle? This little one in here. So what is it? So that's negative 215. That's just 35. So the related acute angle, your answer is 35 degrees. That's all. That's all they're asking. I know they haven't now. You don't put positive or negative because you don't know if it's sine, cos, or tan. That's all that question was asking. You won't be asked that in an exam. they'll say, so therefore I might say, well, what's tan of negative 215? It's not an exact one, by the way. Actually, I will. I'm going to say, given that, can someone actually tell me what tan of 35 is, please, on your calculator? Just give me tan of 35 on your calculator. Yep. 7 what?
0, 0, 2, 0.
All right. Given that tan of 35 is approximately equal to 0.7002, I want you to find the value of tan of negative 215 degrees. All right? So, this is like, you know, we were just looking at those challenge questions. This is like one of them. The reason we give you tan of 35 is it's not an exact value. So because we're not asking tan 30, 45 or 60, if it's any other value apart from 30, 45 or 60, they'll have to give it to you. All right? So I'm saying given that tan of 35 is approximately 0.7002, I want you to find the value of tan of negative 215, and I'm also going to get you to find the value of tan of, I'll think of another one in a minute. Let's just do tan of negative 215. All right, where is it? We just did it. Isn't it here? Negative 215's there, but we are interested in the acute. It's 35. So it's negative. So we say tan of negative 215 equals tan of 35, but do I put a positive or a negative in front of it because I'm in quadrant 2? And I know what tan of 35 is, I just told you. So it's approximately equal to negative 0.7002. See what I've just done? All right. And another one I could give you is to ask you for the tan of 215. No. 200. Yeah. I hope. Go. Tan of 215. Where's that? Which way am I going? Positive. 90, 180, 215. How big is this angle? 35. All right. So I say just that the tan of 215 is the same as positive tan 35 because all stations to central, which is approximately equal to the value you were given, 0.7002. Okay? So those challenge questions are like that